Do you want to be more magnetic? Magnetic personalities have a certain appeal that draws people to them. They're interesting, they're exciting, and people are naturally drawn to them. Now, if you want to learn how to unleash your magnetic personality, this video is for you. Now, when I talk about being more attractive and magnetic, I'm not necessarily talking about physical. I'm talking about being more of an energetic attractor. And not just with people. It can be opportunities, it can be money, it can be health, wealth, career, business opportunities, business openings, career openings, and it can almost seem like you are lucky. However, it's not luck, it's magnetism. See, everything is a manifestation of ourselves, so your current reality is something that you have created for yourself. I understand that that could be hard to accept right now, and our lower self or our ego doesn't want to hear that. So if that triggered you, firstly, you're welcome. Secondly, it's the part of you that wants to keep you safe and not get offended. So it will deflect things and deny things. Now, if we don't challenge ourselves and if we don't challenge our beliefs, we stay stuck and we never change. So as we always say here at AMD, lean into it. So let's dive into my 6 steps to be a more attractive and magnetic man. Number 1, know where you are going and when you want to be there. There's a time and a place for spontaneity. However, even doing things off the cuff should involve a little bit of planning. A guy who is too random and doesn't look ahead might seem quirky and appealing, but having a clear direction is much more attractive. You want to have the mindset of, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and you can join me if you like. If you've ever seen someone who is driven and they know where they want to go, it's attractive, right? Want to be around those type of people. This is why leaders become leaders. So becoming more of a leader of your own life, you will begin to be a leader of others, which will mean that you are starting to master the art of magnetism and attraction. Now, if you go the other way and you follow someone else or always do what they want, and it happens to men all the time in relationships, they fit into her life, doing things that she wants to do, they take up her interests and, talk with all their friends and neglecting their own. And this is how we end up losing ourselves. And this is how we end up not knowing who we are, because we've spent so much time in other people's values and doing what they want. And hey, I've been guilty of this in the past too. And so when I say planning, it's the smallest things, right? Get travel plans sorted in advance. Don't wing it when it comes to going out for dinner. Don't sit and wait for your career just to happen. And don't always sit back and say, I'm happy to do whatever you want to do. Now, I'm not saying you have to go full military style, fully rigid, living life to a strict rule and everything fully planned out, but at least look like you're in control. This way, you can seem spontaneous, however, you still have a plan. For example, you can pick out a dress or an outfit for your partner, leave it on the bed with a note or send them a message saying, hey, I've picked out this for you to wear, be ready at 6 p.m. Now, you already have everything planned out, but it seems like it's spontaneous to her. Plus, I guarantee you will be on her mind all day. Essentially, you are magnetizing her energy. All right, number 2, manage your emotions and frequency. Your emotions are just energy. Emotion, energy in motion, and energy is frequency. So the emotions and your internal state will naturally attract the energetic match within your environment. Like attracts like, it's universal law. So if you want to have a magnetic personality, you have to get good at managing your own emotions. Being around someone who's always negative is extremely draining. That just makes you not want to hang around them, right? And that's exactly the opposite of what we want to achieve here. So if you struggle to manage your own emotions, or you're always in a lower emotional state, you are going to be more repellent than you are an attractor. This might explain why you don't have the things that you want in your life. Don't get me wrong, we all have our bad days. Now, I think there's a time and a place to vent and to speak into these things, but rather than just complaining, Make an effort to find solutions as well. Take responsibility for yourself and focus on what you want to change. By doing this, you'll solve your problems a lot faster. Not only that, but you'll also become more pleasant to be around. Some of my top tools for helping manage your emotional state and raising your frequency are things like DMT breathwork, silent meditations, and releasing the root cause of these negative emotions and beliefs. Now, if you want to spend 3 full days clearing and releasing the 12 core issues that blocks and stops men from being more magnetic and raising your frequency, there will be a link below to book in a call with my team to discuss our breakthrough program launch. On to number 3, stop caring so much. The fear of being judged prevents most people from speaking up, and as a result, they suppress their personality and they try way too hard to fit in. Most people don't notice you as often as you may think. Not to mention, everyone's so concerned about themselves anyway. Even if you do something stupid, others would have forgotten about you by the time they get home. That's why you should always challenge your assumptions to see if they're true or not. Don't believe everything that your mind tries to tell you. Doing so lets you realize that nothing is ever as bad as you may assume. A key point here is to learn that you're not the center of the universe and to not take things personally. Might sound harsh, but it's freeing to know this. Everyone is going to see you how they want to see you. So no matter what you do, what you say, or how you act, that won't change anything. Another layer to stop caring what others think is to avoid comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the enemy of joy. You'll never experience joy and happiness while you're comparing yourself to others. Now, the mind is a powerful tool, and you get exactly what you think about the most. What you hold in mind tends to manifest. It's a law of consciousness. So if you keep magnifying your flaws, then you're going to feel not so good about yourself. That's why you have to take the time to know what's good about you and appreciate what you have. That way, you don't compare yourself unfavorably to others. To help you get started, start making a list of all the things that you like about yourself. When you do this, you start to realize that you actually have a lot to offer in any relationship. You'll start to see yourself as a high value man, and as a result, you won't feel as intimidated interacting with others. Remember, nobody is perfect and we all have our shortcomings. Our imperfections make us who we are. However, so many of us reject those parts that we don't like, and that just keeps that cycle going. You get to decide where you want to put your attention. If you want to have a magnetic personality, keep focusing on your positive traits. The more you do that, the more comfortable you will feel within your own skin, and the higher energy you will put out, which will attract that which is an energetic match to the energy that you are holding within. Okay, number 4, be curious about others. We all have an innate desire to feel important in this human experience. This is why we like people who pay attention to us. That's why it's important to be curious about others in order to become more attractive to yourself. Approach every conversation eagerly to learn something new. Just don't stay there and sit there and get stuck making small talk. We all know that that is rather boring. So go deeper and ask some more personal questions and questions that are a little bit different. By doing so, you'll prompt the other person you're speaking with to open up and share some details about themselves. That way, you can get to know each other better and on a more personal level. The other person will walk away feeling great about themselves, and that will give you a higher chance of being memorable. If you are more memorable, that means that you are more attractive and people will be more likely to want to hang around with you. What also comes underneath this is improving your communication skills. I've come to realize that they are actually skills that can be and must be learned. Yes, some people do grow up in environments where they are able to build these skills easier when they're younger. However, that doesn't mean that you can't, and it doesn't mean that you have a reason to blame anyone else. Responsibility is power, and your ability to take responsibility is going to make you more attractive. No one wants to be around someone who blames everyone else. If you're willing to invest time and money in your career and your personal life, and your professional life, why don't you do the same to build relationships with others? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for education to help you advance professionally, but we are not here to work and then spend the little time that we have trying to enjoy ourselves. We are here to live our lives, and what comes with that is investing resources into yourself to make yourself the best you can, to experience the most you can during this human experience. So I highly encourage you to start educating yourself with building your communication skills. You can read blog posts, you can listen to podcasts, you can watch videos on that topic, and then it's super important then to really start working on implementing the things that you're learning on a consistent basis. The more you do that, the faster you will figure out how to be more outgoing and more confident. Hey, even do some public speaking. That's one of the most influential skills that you can learn. All right, on to number 5. Avoid being distracted. It's really sad to see how many people being attached to their phones these days. You know, at the gym, people spend half the time glued to their phones. You see people going out for dinner and they're on their phones while they are talking to people having dinner with them. We can never be bored anymore due to the constant stimulation that comes from having our heads stuck in our phones. Now, according to recent data, the average person spends 3 hours and 15 minutes on their phone every single day. And 1 in 5 smartphone users spends upwards of 4.5 hours on average on their phones every single day. Now, I would say that most of that use is social media, and that's why they're addicted to it. Now, if this sounds like you probably have a difficult time staying focused when you talk to someone. So in order to build rapport with people quickly, you have to be more present. Give whoever you're with your full and your undivided attention. Put your phone away and really take the time to understand what that other person is saying. There was a study done that showed even if you had your phone near you, even if it was just in visible sight and you didn't even touch it the whole time, it was face down, just the fact that it was near you, that you perceived to be less present. The first time I did a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat where you sit and meditate for 10 hours a day straight. You have no phone, no contact, no speaking with others. You literally just have a bed, a food, and a place to meditate. And it was one of the most liberating experiences of my life. And I felt so disconnected from my phone, and I realized that I could leave my phone for a day and everything would be okay. So take it from me. It's okay to leave your phone at home or on airplane mode during the day, or if you're out with friends or anything like that. Being in the moment, you'll figure out how to be more likable a lot faster. And the most valuable currency in the world is attention. And if you can give others your undivided attention, you'll start to stand out head and shoulders above most people. Look at the person you're talking to. There can be sparks given off when one looks intently at another. It shows confidence and it creates a sense of intimacy which forges bonds. You can't be magnetic and attractive talking to the floor or talking to the window or talking to your drink. Look people in the eyes. Yes, it might be uncomfortable to start with. However, practice it and you will slowly get better over time. Finally, number 6, don't make fun of others. Remember, what goes around comes around. You'll get back whatever you put out. Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's best to always have positive intentions whenever you interact with anyone. Don't put others down just to make yourself feel good. Now, this is even more important when it comes to your exes, unless the relationship was abusive, but it's best to always try and be nice about your previous partners. Holding on to bitterness and saying it back to future partners may be cathartic for you and your ego, but it's kind of hideous and super unattractive. Your current partner or potential partner may wonder,
what will he say about me one day?
You don't have to still have a relationship with them in particular, but if old wounds and new jealousies will allow you to, it might be worth giving it a try. Resentment ages you. It's like drinking poison and expecting them to get hurt, but you're the only one that gets hurt. Humility and humbleness are great, but fake modesty is gross. Now, this is a fine line because nobody likes a show off, but overdoing the self-depreciation is a massive no-no. A man who is confident about his achievements but can acknowledge that he still might have a way to go is super attractive. Celebrate how great you are, just make sure it's not a party of one. And one last kind of bonus point or step is not to substitute a gym membership for a personality. Look, I know there's so much pressure on the way that you look these days. It's crazy how bodies that were once only achievable by Hollywood stars are now strutting down the street everywhere. A lot of men get used to going to the gym as a way to boost their confidence, and that's great. Personally, I feel more confident when I'm looking and feeling my best. However, remember, there's no point in having a banging body if A, you're spending too much time at the gym to be having some actual fun with it, and 2, if you decide that that's all you need and you let your personality slide. Now, I know this firsthand. I used to hold a belief that I needed to have abs to even be considered by the opposite sex. When I did, it would be the thing that attracts them. How wrong I was. Now, think of your body as merely a shop window. It can get people to look, but if you want people to buy what you're selling, you're going to need a personality to back that up. No one's going to want you just because you're buff or you have abs. It takes more than that. So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of those 6 steps. Like and subscribe if you like this. Let me know in the comments what your favorite thing is, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.